What's up, guys? Python here, back with another video. And today, let's talk some Rangers hockey because it's been been a couple weeks or so, and training camp kicks off within a week or two here. So I figured let's talk some hockey a bit because we got some things to talk about. You have Jimmy Vesey signing the PTO officially. At first, it was, is he going to sign an actual deal or is it going to be a PTO? Well, we've discovered it's a PTO. Got some things to talk about, I guess, on the Tyler Mott front. I mean, not much really updated from that, but we'll talk Tyler Mott just because of that. I also want to talk about guys that I'm mostly excited for this upcoming season in terms of rookies just coming into training camp, guys that I'm excited for. Before we jump into this, though, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially Rangers fans. Season's almost here. Thankfully, it's almost here, and we're going to be talking about the Rangers, of course, all season long, and it's going to be a fun season. I can't wait for it to get started. Hockey definitely is it's my favorite sport. It is my favorite sport, so I'm excited for things to get going. So let's just talk about things with the Rangers. So yeah, we're just going to go kind of all over the place here. I don't really have a set way I want to go about things. I kind of just want to spitball things and just talk some hockey overall because I have my thoughts with certain things. So let's just talk. So we'll start with Jimmy Vesey. He signed a PTO. So Jimmy Vesey, who actually ironically ended up being in Buffalo after he left the Rangers, which is ironic because of the fact that there was talks of him going to Buffalo before he signed with the Rangers. And he kind of fell off the map after he left the Rangers. Had 20 points in 64 games played, and he has just not really been productive in that 2020-21 season, that weird year in 50 games played. He had 10 points between the Leafs and Canucks. You're seeing him go on waivers multiple times. So it's going to be interesting to see what his role ends up being. And then last year in New Jersey, 15 points in 68 games played. So I don't know what his role necessarily is going to be. Obviously, it's a PTO, so they're going to just see what he has in camp. And listen, he's going to have to be very good to end up making this roster. This team is very competitive. This isn't like a couple years ago where Jimmy Vesey on a PTO might lead to a deal. No. Right now, we're trying to win. This is business here, and we're for real about winning a championship here. So you got to come in here and be ready to play. And I think the best scenario that you have here is Jimmy Vesey absolutely just making it hard for management to decide what they want to do, because I want to see other guys step up. It's not about Jimmy Vesey for me. For me, it's about seeing Ryan Carpenter step up, Gustav Riedel step up. To me, it's about guys like that. Julian Gauthier, since he's probably staying with the squad, seeing him take a step forward, because if Jimmy Vesey wins over Julian Gauthier spot here, that's going to be something that kind of raises some eyebrows here. Like, Jimmy Vesey, all right. But I want to see these guys just be competitive. I want to see a competitive battle here. See Jimmy Vesey go at it, but then also see Gustav Riedel. Oh, he's looking good. How are we going to put Jimmy Vesey on the roster over him? Ryan Carpenter looking great. How are we going to put Vesey on the roster over him? It would be nice if they could get that friendly internal battle going on here. So that's kind of my thoughts with Jimmy Vesey. I'm not really expecting much from him. I'm not expecting him to sign a deal after this with the Rangers. Like I said, he'd have to have a outstanding camp, outstanding preseason for him to remain with the squad, but I just don't realistically see that happening. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of segue that into who I kind of am looking forward to in terms of training camp and preseason for Rangers guys. To me, it's mostly these depth guys. I want to see some depth guys step up this year. I want to see what Kravtsov's about, assuming he doesn't get traded. I want to see what he's about this preseason. I want to see what Brendan Othman's going to do. I'm very excited for Brendan Othman to come in this preseason. Can you imagine how much that lengthens your lineup if Brendan Othman lights up the world and forces management to have him be on the opening night roster? I mean, you're looking at a scenario where your third line is Othman, Hedel, and Kravtsov. That forces Dryden Hunt out of the lineup, Ryan Reeves, those two. Oh, that would be beautiful. Then your fourth line, you have Blake, Goudreau, and Carpenter. Are you kidding me? Would love to see that. If Othman could come in here and light up the world, I would be very, very happy about that. But realistically, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what we're gonna see from Othman because he can't go to the AHL, so it's gonna be tough for management. Because how do you send him back to juniors after he just lit it up there? 97 points in 66 games played with the Flint Firebirds, and then the World Juniors 6 points in 6 games, 24 points in 19 games with Flint for the playoffs too. I mean, he's just unreal. He's unreal, and it's going to be interesting to see how his game translates to going against men, going against grown men in the league, not juniors where you're going to play guys in the same age demographic here. This is the real deal. We're going to see what he's made of, and listen, if he could translate any of that, oh, this lineup just became so much deeper without it even trying to be. So, Brennan Othman, I think you got to definitely keep an eye on him. I mean, he's going to be absolutely exciting to watch. So, that's a guy that I'm looking forward to personally. And we'll talk forward core before we talk defense, because there's a bit to talk about with the defensive group. But in terms of other forwards, I want to see what Gustav Riedel's made of. I want to see what he's like coming from overseas. Everyone's a little... I should say everyone, but there's a select handful of Ranger fans that are like, this guy's going to make the opening night lineup. I think Statboy Steven compared him to Pierre-Edouard Bellemare from the Tampa Bay Lightning when he came on over to the league. So if you're getting a guy like that, that is great value for your fourth line. So I'm hoping that's what he ends up doing. I'm interested to see what he's about in preseason and camp here. I'm definitely interested to see. So, he's another name to keep an eye on. Last year in the Swedish Hockey League, 30 points in 44 games played, 15 goals, 15 assists, 12 points in 19 playoff games as well. He's on the older side of things. He's 27, so what realistically are you going to get from him is the question. Is he going to translate his game over to the North American ice? Obviously, if you weren't aware, I should say obviously, because some people aren't aware that this is a thing, but the rinks are bigger over in Sweden. Here, a lot less room to work with, so let's see what ends up happening with Gustav Riedel transitioning to the North American game here. Because completely different animal. We saw Niels Lundqvist. He was great in the Swedish Hockey League. Tried to carry that on over to the North American game, and he just couldn't adjust quite well. Trying to think of a different word, but he couldn't adjust quite well to the North American game. Other guys, I'm kind of interested to see what Painiemi does. Last preseason, I thought he was actually very good. His shot is just unreal. Unreal. I want to see Lauri Painiemi try to crack the opening night roster in Hartford. He had 26 points in 51 games played. Doesn't really get you that excited, but his shot is wicked, man. His shot is wicked. I'd love to see what he's about. Maybe get a cup of coffee in the NHL this year. So we'll have to see what he's going to be about. I'm excited to see him in camp in preseason. Because that's another guy right there that lengthens your lineup so much more if he makes the squad. Just thinking about how deep your third line could be. Will Coley's another name. What's he going to be about? He's only 20 years old still, so I'm not expecting him to come in and crack the roster. But man, was he good with Windsor last year. 80 points in 59 games played. I'm pretty sure he's the captain over there. 25 playoff games, 31 points. Absolutely unreal performance from him in the World Juniors. 4 points in 7 games, so a little less production there, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he was scratched a couple times. Ended up getting benched. Didn't log a lot of minutes. I didn't really pay attention to the Warriors. In the canceled one, he had 2 points in 2 games played. So, Will Coley is a name that I'm very excited about as well. You have so many guys that could potentially crack this roster here. And, it excites me. It excites me. Training camp is really going to be fun it's going to be fun to see what happens. Preseason's going to be fun this year. I know everyone's more kind of like, we want October 11th, and all of that, because listen, we want the cup this year. This isn't going to be about necessarily the rookies as much as it was in the rebuilding years. But to me, there are so many names that could end up making this roster where it's going to be interesting to see what goes down this preseason. Will Coley is most certainly one of the names. Plays a physical game too. Putting up points and playing a physical game. Would love to see a guy like that make the roster. Doesn't have a lot of experience though in Hartford. In his 1 year, he was what, 18 or 19 years old when he came over to Hartford. So 5 points in 18 games. Not a lot there in terms of that, but another guy where if he just blows the doors open in preseason, could make the roster. It's obviously the case with a lot of guys, but so obviously there's going to be guys that are the odd man out, but just another name to keep an eye on. I'm trying to be positive here. Give some names. So, yeah, and then I kind of wanted to end things with Vitaly Kravtsov because obviously he's the most intriguing name. Is he going to be on the roster come training camp time? You're hearing him potentially being packaged with Nils Lundqvist to try to bump up the price there a bit since they're only getting a second-round pick offered for Nils. I really do want to see what a full year of Vitaly Kravtsov is for the Rangers. Didn't necessarily light it up in the KHL, but 13 points in 19 games in the playoffs, 10 and 15. I'm intrigued there. I'm intrigued there. You drafted him early for a reason, and these Gordy Clark picks, I mean, it just sucks. It just sucks with him. Sucks that, a lot of missed opportunities because of him. People like to look at Jeff Gordon, but, I mean, Gordy Clark was a brutal scout for this organization. Some of these names, I mean, brutal. Kravtsov hopefully won't end up being one of them. 4 points in those 20 games played when he came over in the 2021 season, but I was so interested to see what he was going to be about last year, and now it's just, you have such a big question mark with him coming into the season, which I don't like. I don't like at all. And then what happens if there are guys that do better than him in the preseason? Let's say Will Coley and Brendan Hoffman force your hand that they both have to be played. Well, what happens to a guy like Kravtsov? You're not burying him on the fourth line, so you're kind of in a scenario where you're going to have to force yourself to get whatever you can for him because it's going to be a healthy scratch and not going to be happy about that. Go on waivers, lose him for nothing. So Kravtsov, the Rangers are kind of in a tough spot with him. Do you move him right now with Lundqvist because you could definitely get something for him? Or do you risk the chance and say, Kravtsov is going to be good. He's going to be on the full-time roster this year. So let's go. You're going to stick around. But you also have the risk where you have guys win over a roster spot in preseason, in camp over him. So you're not going to get anything probably in a trade for him. At most at that point, a 7th round pick. And for a guy that you drafted 9th overall, be a bad luck. Would be a bad luck. Adam Sikora won't be in camp, unfortunately. I was excited to see what he was going to be about, but he's going to be head straight overseas, so not really much to talk about him. Bobby Trevingo is going to be an interesting name as well. Coming over from college last year. Played a couple games in Hartford. 3 points in 11 games last year. Didn't necessarily light up the world there, but we'll give him another year. Give him another year. Still 23 years old. He's a college prospect. We'll see what he's about. See what he's about. But that's kind of it for the forward group. Not really much else I want to mention there. There's obviously a lot that we went over there. But the defensive group, it's going to be interesting as well. I mean, Nils Lundqvist, he's out of town. He's not going to report to camp. And to me, I think that's kind of silly to me because I feel like Nils should have really came into camp with an attitude. Come into camp and be like, nah, management, I'm going to show you that you can play me over Braden Schneider. I'm going to show you that you could play me on that left side defense. I'm going to show you that I have value to this organization. I understand that he's looking at the depth chart and he probably doesn't want to play on the left side. Let's be honest, because is he going to outperform the way Schneider was? He could, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And then obviously Fox and Trouba are here for a very long time. So he's looking at the depth chart. I understand. We went over this. We're not going to really go down that route again. But I wish he kind of went into camp with an attitude, with a fire, saying, no, I'm going to prove management that I am the real deal, Niels. I'm going to prove that they have to play me. I'm going to prove that I am better than Braden Schneider. And then also, it would have been great for us Ranger fans because it would force Schneider to work hard in camp too and realize nothing's guaranteed for him here. Because I'm hoping that he doesn't come in the camp thinking, oh, well, I'm guaranteed to make the roster and all of that. Because he's probably looking at the depth chart all giddy right now, all excited, thinking I'm a lock to make this team. It would be good. I'd like that. I like him to have that confidence. But I want you to go out there and prove it too. I want you to show that you're going to do what you did last season. I don't have doubts about that. I'm just saying that you never know with some of these players. They could end up going in, being too cocky. So we'll have to see. Zach Jones, though, he's going to be an animal in camp and preseason. He's seeing that left spot wide open right now. Probably thinking, man, I can't let Libor Hayek and Jared Tenorti grab that spot over me. This is my chance. Zach Jones has to come in the camp in preseason hungry, like an animal. Maybe put on a couple pounds. I don't know. Throwing an idea out there. But I don't think he's going to listen to some idiot who's got twig arms on YouTube. But that's besides the point. But I mean, he needs to come in here and really win over the job because Matt Robertson's another guy who might take that spot from him. Robertson might battle it out. He didn't do great in Hartford point-wise, 11 points in 65 games. But I'm pretty sure he's more of that stay-at-home guy either way. So, Robertson, another name to keep an eye on come camp. But those two guys, I need them to win over the job here. I do not want to watch the Rangers have Libor Hayek and Jared Tenorti skate out there for a handful of games. And then I overall have kind of questions with the depth of the blue line here. If a guy goes down, I mean, you're looking very thin right now. You're looking very thin. God forbid you lose any of these guys in the starting lineup. I mean, Robertson or Jones, whoever doesn't make it, I guess maybe. But if one of them isn't good enough, now with Niels Lundqvist, it just leaves such a hole now that Niels is leaving the squad here because now Jared Tenorti or Libor Hayek are going to get looks, and it's like, we can't be doing this still. We cannot be doing this still where we have these guys playing. Can't. I think it's the Rangers have to add a seventh defenseman, maybe sign a guy to a PTO. Bring back Keith Yandel, maybe? I don't know. At least you don't have to worry about him getting hurt. Guy's an Iron Man. I don't really know any other guys they could sign to a PTO. But they should definitely look down that route. They certainly should. Goaltending-wise, Dylan Garand probably going to get some preseason reps. Excited to see what he's going to do there. Winning the gold medal in the World Juniors. 925 in 6 games played. 1.98 goals against for him. I'm excited for Garand. It's so stupid to think that after this season, next year, we're probably going to have Garand and Shesterkin between the pipes. Oh my God, I can make a grown man cry. It's so beautiful to think about. Halak signed that 1-year deal. And the Rangers are probably thinking, this Dylan Garand guy, he's probably going to be the real deal, and he's going to be ready to go next season. I can't wait for Dylan Garand. The fact that we're going to have those two in a tandem, let Benoit Allaire get his magic on Dylan Garand too. Dylan Garand already looking great, and then he's going to get into the lab with Benny. I'm so excited to see what Dylan Garand's going to do. This preseason, he's definitely another guy Ranger fans need to keep an eye out on. Going to be interesting, though, to see, fast forward a few years, what the Rangers do between the pipes. Igor's going to obviously want a big deal. But if Garand ends up being the real deal, what are you going to do with him? It's going to be a good problem to have. It is going to be a good problem to have, but thank God I'm not management having to make that decision a few years down the road. But yeah, those are kind of the names with training camp that I'm looking forward to. There's not really much else with that. So kind of wanted to mention those guys. Tyler Mott will segue there just because we got to mention him. He's still floating out there. You saw him training in the Rangers gear, but to me, I wouldn't look much into that. He probably just has his Rangers gear because that's the freshest equipment that he has. He's just rocking that, still skating, so he's going to wear whatever gear he has. He's not going to be going out there in gear with just generic gear. He's going to just wear what he has, so I wouldn't look much into that, but I really feel like the Rangers are going to try to get something done here. I really feel like they're gonna. And I feel like they will get something done, which if you're following me on Twitter, you know that I'm starting the daily tweeting asking for Mott to come back thing. I feel like the Rangers are going to get something done with Tyler Mott here. I really do. I really wonder if there's going to be a scenario where the Rangers could sign Mott to a sweetheart deal this year, and they say to Mott, listen, sign this deal, and we're going to attach an extension to this where it's going to be $2 million per year. Maybe a little more if they have to, but at least $2 million per year. Because, listen, we don't have room right now, but we want you here. Ryan Reeves is going to leave after this season, so you kind of take over that contract there. So I wonder if the Rangers could kind of get that agreement in place where Mott takes a league min deal, and then the Rangers have an extension attached to him where you guarantee him 3-4 years at maybe over $2 million if you have to, and you bring him in. I'd love that, but listen, Tyler Mott isn't forced to take that deal. To him, he could go get the bag somewhere else. That's on him. That's on him, and I would respect that. I would respect him if he wanted that, but I think the Rangers should definitely at least maybe try experimenting something like that. Maybe that's what they're trying to go down. Can't agree on a number on a second extension. Who knows what's going down there, but I really think Tyler Mott coming back would be just such a great fit. Saw the difference in the penalty kill when he was here versus when he wasn't here in that Pittsburgh series. Night and day. Night and day. Even the penalty kill when he suffered that injury versus Pittsburgh. He was out for that extended period of time. We didn't get enough of Tyler Mott this past season. We didn't get enough. I wanted more. I want more Tyler Mott. We have full 82 of Tyler Mott next season. That's what I want, but realistically, it's not looking good on that front. I'm hoping, though, they could figure something out. You want to talk about lengthening your lineup. I mean, say one of those rookies win the job and you have Tyler Mott back. Ryan Carpenter is your rotational 13th forward. Your fourth line, Blake, Goudreau, Mott. Your third line, say it's Othman that wins the role. Othman, Hedel, Kravtsov. This lineup becomes so ridiculous in a good way. So, I don't know what's going to happen in the Tyler Mott front. You guys let me know what you guys think. And also let me know what you guys think about guys that might make the team, guys that you maybe want the Rangers to sign to a PTO, all of that. Let me know guys you're looking forward to in rookie camp, preseason, all of that. Love to hear your thoughts. But to close things out, I just need the season back. I mean, I keep saying it every time I make a Rangers video, but I need the season back already. We're getting close. I think September 21st is when training camp kicks off. So week and a half about that until things get going here, which is going to be so nice to actually have some action to talk about with this team. So I'm very excited. Let me know how you guys are feeling. I'm so amped for the season, but yeah, can't come soon enough. But that's going to be it for me. Keep an eye out on a Rangers Talk episode. We'll probably get that up sometime within the next few weeks. Keep an eye out if you're Met fans as well on the Mets Talk episode that's going to come out later today. But that's going to be where I end things. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on your notifications. And I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.